how do we add more value to the world? People ask me this through my internet marketing and my website. So if you want to become the highest performer at whatever you do, it really takes a certain set of principles. Like, if you want to be this high achiever, how do you do this? How can you get yourself to be a better person and have more influence so you can make a difference where you're at? You always hear it all the time, add more value. How do we do this? Well, that's what we're going to talk about here in this short little video. I spent my entire life asking and answering that question. I started doing these videos and writing books, and as I started doing this, I sort of had to rise to a different occasion for myself. But there was always this question with other people about how can you get to the next level? Well, you got to learn how to think differently and rewire your brain in a way so that it takes you to a successful outcome. So I want you to think about this as a very specific mission. Whatever it is that you really want to do in your life, whatever you're trying to succeed at another level, whether it's your work or your network, if you want to add more value or become a greater person, have more talent, how would you do this? Well, I have some simple ideas that can really shift the way you look at this. The first idea is this: be more be more decisive and ask better questions. If you could ask yourself better questions in any situation, your own questions to your own brain, you'll start to understand things better than other people, and you'll have these distinctions about how to add more value in that specific situation. So let's say you're a consultant and you're helping people out, you're doing coaching or whatever it may be. Well, how can you add more value? Well, it's very simple. Here's a very simple framework that I use when I ask questions. I'm doing coaching. Every single get-together I have this framework going on that asks questions that's related to this framework, so I know how to add value. So if you're ever doing this, your goal is to ask these specific questions to make sure that these coworkers or whoever is around you or whoever you're coaching, they understand this framework. You're trying to figure out what are the goals that these people are trying to get to. Depending upon their capabilities and the measurements that everyone needs to understand in order to succeed. What do I mean? Well, any get together, if you ever get together, every meeting, there's obviously a specific goal you're trying to get to. So if you continue to focus on your goal, not how you're getting there, whatever, just really what you're trying to accomplish. What's your short-term goal and your long-term goal, what you're really after. If you're a person who understands all your objectives and all their objectives, then you're going to be the smartest person in the room because no one else is asking these specific questions. A lot of people get trapped in a culture who's very good at tasks and distraction, at a myopic level, but they never know how to get to the greater purpose. And if you're the person who looks at the larger vision, now you know how to add more value, even if you just kind of are more clear. Now, the second thing is to specifically understand your audience, who you're trying to reach, who are your clients, who are the exact people who are going to be within your little group, your little tribe, if you will. So if you understand the who in any given situation, this is very powerful, because simple questions you can ask is, if I did this, who exactly would it affect? If I would take this course of action, who would like it, and why would they like it? Ask these very simple, specific questions and decisive questions. It can increase your ability to add value to these people as you think through it. Now, if you just think differently, just think slightly differently than most people, but more decisive and just on point, this will help you ask more questions to get you thinking. The third part of this is capability. What are your capabilities? What is this other person's capability? And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to manage that in a specific way so that these knowledge and skills and these abilities and resources are very much in line, and so that they can ask their own questions because they know that they're good at what they're doing. You're actually delegating tasks in a very specific way. So if a person knows their capabilities at a specific organization in a particular area, they'll know how to add more value in their specific niche. And people get more accustomed to this, and people will be like, oh, Tom knows how to do that, and Bob knows how to do that. And it'll become a well-oiled machine. Next is just being measurable. How can we measure this? How do we know when we're starting to get closer to success? How do we know that we're progressing? How can I check back in on this to kind of measure where I was, where we were, and where we're going? You know, what does success really look like? How do we know when we get there? And this is so simple and basic, but it's like if you're the person who's asking a better quality questions, then the people you influence and you work with you'll be leading. You're going to be the person who everyone else wants to be. You know, you're going to be the person that people are following. They're going to ask questions to you. You're going to be the influencer in the group because, you know, you're helping people think of things that they usually don't think of. If you're the person who is known as the go-to person, then, you know, you're going to be outperforming people. And guess what? All the big ideas are going to come bouncing at you, and now you're going to become the person who's also the one who is getting like the insider knowledge, like in this organization or whatever it may be that you're doing, coaching sessions, whatever it is. This is how you become a higher performer. Thank you so much for joining my video. We'll see you in the next one. Number two.